My name is Stuart McBride. I work for a company called Frontmatec. And we would like to, first and foremost, we'd like to say thank you to the IFFA Forum for inviting us here this afternoon to talk about this digitization and the power of data. It's something that in our company and in particularly in our business area we are very, very passionate about. I have actually been working in the food industry for about 13 years now. And I've been very fortunate, lucky, unlucky in some cases maybe, to visit very many food processing factories. And I believe that the food industry is at a stage right now where we're really going to witness a change like we have never witnessed before because of the amount of data that is now available. But we'll get back to that. A little bit about the company I work for, Frontmatec. We are the developers, the designers, the implementation of food processing equipment for all processing areas, from where we take live animals all the way out to we dispatch products that go to supermarkets and so on. This week at the show, we are located in hall number 9, and we are about between 60 or 70 specialists who are on the stand, who are talking to customers, and we are very, very much a global company. And of course, that's something we're very proud of. But the reason I mention this is because during this presentation, I'm going to take you for a little bit of a tour back to the base of Frontmatec. We're based in Denmark, and that is something quite special to do with the story here about this power of data and what we're doing for current customers, and not necessarily in the food industry, but in other industries. And I believe that this has given us a passion and a drive to take this to the food industry. And with all due respect, we're a little bit behind in the food industry. Before we get to the nuts and bolts of it, I would just like to raise a question to everyone. Why do you come to IFFA this week? Why do we come here? Any suggestions? Just quickly.
See what's new.
Excuse me?
See what's new.
See what's new. Visit some partners or visit some customers. Maybe some of you are here because your boss said you had to be here. And the whole week. No, I actually believe that we are all here at IFFA this week because we have huge, huge challenges regarding, for example, FN's world goals. I think that not only the obvious ones for a company like us about innovation and infrastructure, but it's about supplying clean water, about reducing poverty. I think these are all crucial issues that all of us in business have a responsibility for, whether we like it or not. And I think that we have to be very, very cautious about this. And the main reason I think that we're here is because by the year 2050, we're going to be 9.7 billion people on our planet. And already, I'm sure you know, if you don't, we're already using more resources than actually we can handle. And everyone in all of these halls this week, they have a huge responsibility. It's up to us to make smarter, faster, more affordable food products for all of us. Please come in, take a seat. You're welcome. So I believe this is why we're all here at IFFA this week. We have huge, huge challenges. And one of the things that's going to help us with these challenges and certainly make our planet sustainable for the future and the next generation is data. It's exciting stuff. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the base of where our company comes from in Denmark. Alexander, who just presented me, he said to me, there's so many people from Denmark here. You may actually hear that I'm not actually Danish, I'm Scottish. You might recognize my dialect, although I have been in Denmark for about 25 years, so they have brainwashed me. But in Denmark, they have a fantastic culture and a passion about food and the food industry in general. And it's something that we have in our DNA. And I guess it's something that even I learned as a kid, that Danish bacon, that really was the best. And I still say today that it's still the best. But in Denmark, we are also lucky that we are all very much aware in our society today regarding the environment, regarding being sustainable. We have huge plans and goals in Denmark to actually be to reduce our CO2 emissions to 100% by 2050, and already by 2030 we want to be at 70%. We are all very aware of it. Our children are learning about it in school, and even at home, I can tell you if I do something the wrong way, my wife is hitting me with something or a rolling pin, and I'm always thinking about how we are disregarding the garbage and so on. So we are very lucky that we live in a society where we have this going on. And this has helped us immensely in our company, because already in Denmark, the local authorities are using data analytics for the wastewater, for example. So we are already taking huge amounts of data from different sources in order to analyze what is going on. Around in the major cities, we see these large benches popping up, and it's also drawing people's attention. If we don't take action, and take action now, this is where the water level will be in approximately 25 to 30 years. So we are all very much aware of this, and this has helped us by our local authorities coming to customers coming to suppliers such as us and saying, hey, you must help us gather data from different sources in order to fight this. So in the food industry, how does this affect us all? Well, we believe for many, many years, if you think about the supply chain, there's this huge comparison that we experience. Do we have any farmers here? Anybody in the farming industry? Okay, then I can say what I like about farmers. No, we have great respect for the farmers and what they do. But with all due respect, farming mythologies, even in a modern society as we live in, yeah, okay, you could say today they have tractors that are high-tech vehicles. They have milking machines that are automated. But in general, they use a lot of mythologies that haven't changed in 50 years, maybe even 100 years. And likewise, many of the food factories I've visited over the last 13 years, the tracking of food products, of special of fresh meat products, is actually done on pen and paper. It's very still primitive. Then, if we go to the other end of the supply chain, most young people today, they won't even buy a piece of meat in the supermarket if they don't know everything about it. It's turning into something that's really crazy. Younger generation today, they maybe not buy meat before they check on their Instagram file what it is. They want to know about animal origins. They want to know about how the animal may have been slaughtered. They want to know which country it came from. They want to know what it had to eat. Did it have any antibiotics? I could go on and on and on. So when you have this very primitive stage at one side and the very advanced by the next generation who is buying food products, it makes our job in the food industry supplying solutions for customers for processing extremely complex. But luckily, we have a lot of clever people involved, and we take the challenge up. So this is the background of everything that's going on. So in our company, we are here at IFFA. We are very much having a launch for something called Business Intelligence Services. And what is all this about? Well, again, I can only refer to my own experience. The last 13 years, I've been in many food factories, and when you go there and you talk to them about software and we have a solution and we would like to give you this, that, and the other, we quickly find out that a company for sure has a CRM system that does all of their economy. They have for sure a system that maybe logs all of their customers. They may have a manufacturing execution system that measures everything on the shop floor. And if they're really lucky, they may have a supervisory control and a data acquisition system that we call SCADA that measures everything regarding the actual hardware. And on top of that, yeah, they can have something for shipping, for warehouse management, label management, blah, blah, blah. And you know the most crazy thing about it all? In 80% of cases, none of it is connected. None of it talks to one another. It's all bits and pieces and here, and it's all over the place, and it gives extreme, extreme challenges. So when we talk to our customers today, one of the key things they say to us is, hey, how can you help us secure the future of our business? Since the last IFFA in 2019, I don't know how many times I've heard that. Securing the future of the business. What does that mean? What does it mean? In 2019, there was very much a launch here at IFFA about the Industry 4.0, the Internet of Things, big data. All these buzzwords were going around. But it hadn't really kicked off. But for sure now, I can tell you personal experience in the last 3 years, there has been an enormous change. And many key accounts of ours today, they are already going in this direction. And just before I came to this meeting, I was talking to customers from South America who are already going in this direction. So it's extremely exciting, and what they want to do is exactly what I listed here. All people and devices connected. How many people here do not have a mobile phone in the pocket? Hands up. We are all connected. We all want to know what's going on. Actually, a customer I met yesterday from South Africa, he was actually able to show me his slaughter performance on his phone live. And it's something they had made themselves. That was quite impressive. When our customers are on this, what we call a digital journey with them. Yeah, what does that mean? It's a digital journey. How do we get there? We go through a process with our customers now where we hold a number of workshops with them, where we can decide where they are right now, how they need to be better, and agree about a process and take them on this journey. And that journey is a series of small stops along the way to make sure that we're online, we're aligned, we agree before we do any project implementation. In this industry, there has been so many projects that have been implemented and things go wrong and customers get upset, suppliers get upset, and we all end up fighting with one another. Any of you who are in the business that way, you've probably experienced it. It's changing. There's huge change. All hardware and software must be integrated. What does that mean? That means, for example, like some of these packing machines around here, if they are packing lots of meat, if one of them stops or if one of them changes to another order, the packet's over here, it must be informed to the machines over here. It must all talk to one another. We must know what's going on. The inventory that's further down that's preparing the shipments must be informed back. We're missing something. It's a huge part of it. We have talked in this industry about real-time data since I started in it. What does it mean? Where is the value in it? This is what we are focusing on with the business intelligence, because what we wanted to do is we want to collect all this data in the cloud that it can be automated and start sending information back to the factory based on historical data. Does that make sense? So, for example, for our supervisory and data acquisition, that we call a SCADA model, as we call it, if we have a whole load of packing lines again where we are connected, and we have a number of alarms. If you come to our stand, you can see this on one of our dashboardings. We have a number of alarms that are going off constantly alarms for different areas. But when we collect all the data and we look at it historically, we start to see patterns and trends. So, for example, we may see that on what day is it today? Sunday? On a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we always have the same alarm. We perhaps always have the same downtime. Why is it? Why is it that at that time something always happens? It could be that the guy on the line is maybe not the fastest guy. It could be that on one of the packing machines the labels have run out. It could be that there's something with the electricity and we always have a power surge at that time. All of these small things can help to optimize to effectiveness in order that we can keep the lines running. Because anytime the line stops, we're losing and we're behind. Another thing that it wants to do, it wants the future business pattern to be predicted. So yeah, it's very important for owners of factories or financial directors. They want to know what's happening in the factory right now. Where is my yield number? What is going on? But what it further wants it to do is that based on the data, based on what's going on right now, how is it going to look in 12 hours? How is it going to look in the next hour? And another good example here is, in our business, we typically have chilling areas where we have carcasses for beef or pork that are highly stocked up by the end of a slaughter day or a production day. I don't have to remind any of you right now at the geopolitical climate and the weather and what's going on in the world, that the market can change just like that, bang. And all of the raw material we had planned to go out on a specific day, the market changed, the price changed, and we need software algorithms in the background that can quickly go in and turn it all around to make sure we get the right products out to the right customer and ensuring that we can stay on top of our margin. Only the correct usage of data will help us get there. I don't want to underestimate the fact that humans will always be involved with the execution of making decisions. Unfortunately, we are all people. I am willing to put my head on the chopping block, though, and say that in about 15 years, when we come to IFFA again, I will already predict. I think in food processing factories, I'm willing to predict there will be no people there. There'll be no people in there. Every time human beings go in contact with food products, we reduce the quality, we reduce the value, and it's all down the way. So I think the future is going to be very, very much more automized, and it's all going to be about digitization, and a colleague here just annoyed me. It's all going to be about the data to keep us on track. With all of this data, we are moving very much towards the data acquisition part. Is where we are using big data analytics for the maintenance and service of equipment. We are really deep diving in, collecting as much data as possible and sending it to be analyzed. And it keeps us on top of what's going on. On the manufacturing execution side, where I'm spending actually most of my time, I experience now that when I first started in the business, the production planning and scheduling for food processing is actually the core of what happens in this area. Again, in many of the factories I visited, it's a human being who's doing production planning. And this human being, he's probably the lady or the gentleman who has the most experience in the factory. Maybe they've been there as a young guy. They've lived in the factory. Maybe if it's a family-owned place, they know the production on the back of their hand, and that's how they do the planning. And that's all very good. But what we're seeing now is that the production planning is actually starting to be created automatically from data that comes from machines on the shop floor. That's why I believe that there will be no human beings involved in this process in the future. All of the data that comes from when we send products out of a factory, it starts to send data back to say to the inventory locations, okay, we need to start building new orders. When that inventory location empties, it sends it back to a cutting and deboning area, for example, say, we need these specific carcasses for these specific customers with these specific grades. So the production planning and the scheduling side is something that we've seen the last 3 years that is all going to be totally automated. All based on digitization and data. All makes sense to everyone? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah, here's just an image to give you a bit of an overview of what we're doing with the utilities in Denmark, as I mentioned earlier. So we actually take information from the utility companies, from the electricity companies. We take from geographical information systems, which is a mapping system. From the ERP, this S2 is a Frontmatec product for our data acquisition. And we're taking all of this data into a huge area where we are using modern methodologies and technologies and agile software in order to present it actually in Microsoft products. So it's a well-known format. It's something that most businesses in one way, shape or form are already using it. And again, at Frontmatec, you can come and visit us. You can see some examples and talk to our specialists. I went too quick. Yeah, so at Frontmatec, with our products for software, we really believe that we are taking the food processing industry into the next generation. It's not going to be easy. It's still going to be a long journey, but we have huge ambitions about it. And I'll just finish off by saying that we are located in hall number 9, location E16. Please come and see us. And if you do that, you know what? You can all be a part of it. Thank you very much.